All right, so my first one wants me to graph the exponential function. So if you're doing this by hand, you can make you a little X and Y table. Pick about 3 points probably and graph it. Or y'all can just go punch this on your calculator. So I'll do it both ways real quick. So if I was graphing this, I'd use a 0, 1, and 2 probably. Because remember, you're dealing with exponents, so keep them numbers sort of small for yourself. All right, I put a 0 in there. 1/2 to the 0 power is 1. Remember, anything to the 0 power is 1. When you put a 1 in for the x, 1/2 to the first power is 1/2. And then if I put a 2 in for my exponent, that would give me 1/2 times 1/2, which would be 1/4. And then if you plotted your points, 0, 1, over here at 1, I'm about 1/2. Over here at 2, I'm about 1/4. So you can tell as it goes out to the right, it's trying to get closer and closer to the x-axis. So this graph should just come down and try to hug that x-axis. And the only one that looks anything like that would be our A for us. Okay, so y'all let me show you on the calculator. It's pretty quick on there. All right, so I'm gonna go to y equals. Now, usually on here, keep those fractions in parentheses. So I'm gonna put a parentheses, 1 divided by 2, close parentheses, and then raise that to the exponent of an x. So I got my 1/2 x in there. I'm just going to graph it just to get a basic idea. And if you notice, it comes down just like we had and sort of tries to hug that x-axis down through there, okay? So either way you do that, just to get that picture drawn, okay? Now, I probably won't graph these ones, but I'm going to tell you what I would do on MATLAB if I was graphing these, okay? So on number 2, the first thing you got to do is figure out, you're going to start with the graph of y equals blank to the x. And then it says we're going to shift it up, left, right, or down. So the only move on here is that +3 they're doing. Anytime you mess with the x up there as an exponent, you're going to go left or right. Since that's a +3, it's actually going to go left 3 units. So you got to find A, B, C, or D, whichever one went left 3. And for me, that would be B. It said shift the graph 3 units to the left. So I'm going to go with B. Start with the graph of y equals. Our base is a 2, so you would put 2 in the blank. They've already got the x there, so just put the base and click the one that had the move you did. So we went 3 units to the left. Now here's the trick on this one. In MATLAB, you're going to choose the tool that looks like the exponential. You want to move this 3 units to the left. So that would be your what? Horizontal. Move that horizontal left to a -3. Also, in the box where it says base, you got to change that. Usually it's the little e by default. You got to change that base down here to match your graph, which is a 2. So once you put your base 2, move your horizontal to -3, it's going to take that graph and it should kick it left 3 units, okay? So MATLAB's going to do everything for us on that. All right, number 3 is the same type problem. But this time, if you notice, I got 2 moves going on. I got that +5 attacking the x, that's the exponent. And then at the end, we got that -2. So what's happening is that +5, since we're attacking the x and it's an exponent, is going to move me left 5 units. So we're moving left 5 units. That -2 at the end, anytime they add or subtract from the end, it's a vertical move. So that's going to move down 2 units. So here's my blank. They say start with the graph of y equals. Well, my base once again is a 2. They got the x for us. And then we're going to shift it blank 5 units. So we said we was going to move left 5 units. And then we said we was going to go down 2 units. So it'll pop up a box and you'll just click the left and then which one to, when it pops up that box, you'll do the left and down and be done with it. Just remember in MATLAB, you're choosing the exponential tool again. Your horizontal, I went left 5. So you're going to move the horizontal left to a -5. The vertical, we went down 2 units. So move the vertical to a -2. And then remember the last thing is down here where it says base. Change your base to a 2 to match that problem, okay? All righty, then we started getting into problems where we were doing the investment formulas I gave you. So I'm going to write down this information and then I'll do this on paper. So we got $64,000 invested at 4.5% interest, compounded quarterly. So A, they want me to find a formula for how much this investment grows after T years. And then B, we'll find the amount of money in the account at T = 0, 4, 8, and 10 years. All right, so let me move that back up where we can see it. All right, so the formula that I gave y'all was A of T, where T meant time, equals P times 1 plus R divided by N, all raised to the N times T. So since they want this to be a formula for the amount in the account at any time T, the variable for us will be the T. Everything else we're replacing. So P is my principal balance. That's that 64,000. So bring down your 64,000 times 1 plus R is my interest rate. So my interest rate is 4.5%, which is 4.5%. So I'm just going to keep it as a decimal. And then remember, to turn a percent into decimal form, you got to move that decimal left 2 units. So you're going to get a 0.045. So that's my R, 0.045. That's being divided by N, which is the number of compounds. Well, y'all, that's that quarterly. So quarterly would mean it's getting compounded 4 times in a year. So put your 4 under that. and then replace the other n with a 4, and then times the t. So we've got the basic formula now, but what we have to do for MATLAB, you have to come inside and simplify them parentheses. So we'll get A of t equals 64,000. So inside the parentheses, I'm going to see what 1 plus 0.045 divided by 4 will give me. And that gives me 1.01125. And my exponent is still a 4 times t. This is the answer for your formula that MATLAB wants. Okay, so I can't stress enough, but you definitely got to simplify what's inside them parentheses, okay? So for the part B, at time equals 0, I'm just going to put a 0 in for that t. So the exponent would be 4 times 0, which is 0. Anything to the 0 power is 1. So this becomes 64,000 times 1, which would still be $64,000. So at time equals 0, you got to have your starting amount. So what I have, a 4 at 8 years and 10 years. All right, so for number 2, I'm just going to punch that in and replace that t with a 4. So I got 64,000. Parentheses, 1.01125, close parentheses. My exponent is 4 times 4, which will be 16. Now I'm rounding these to the nearest dollar. So that looks like I'm getting 76,540. So let's see, after that decimal is a 9, so that 44 is going to turn into a 45. And then we're going to do that with what's next? 8. So 64,000 parentheses 1.01125. This time my exponent is 4 times 8, which would be 32. So rounding that to the nearest dollar, 91,500. And let's see, that's 48 with an 80 something, so that'd be a 49. Now make sure for sure, since this is an investment, these amounts should be going up over time, okay? So if you're not getting amounts that are going up, then one of your parts of your formulas got to be off, okay? All right, so 1.01125. This time I'm doing 10 years, so 4 times 10 would make that a 40. So after 10 years, we got, looks like 100,120. That's going to stay a 0 this time because after the decimal is just a 1. So come up with your formula, and then it's going to have you put in your 4 amounts, okay? But y'all, it's not too bad because them calculators will knock those out really quick for us, okay? All right, so let's come down here. Same thing with number 5, except it's doing it with the little girl Melissa's birthday. So I'll work that in right in here. So we got A of t. Well, the starting amount is going to be the 5,000 they gave her. Then you got 1 plus interest rate. She's getting 3% interest. If you move that decimal left 2 units, you'll get a 0.03 divided by n, which is my number of compounds. This one's compounded semi-annually, which will be 2. And then it's 2 times t. So this one, we're looking at how much money is in this girl's account. If it matures on her 15th birthday, and she got the CD on her 6th birthday. So your T will be the number of years that it took. So we would take what, 15 minus 6. 15 minus 6 would give us 9 years. So this one says round to the nearest cents. So we're going to round this to the nearest cents. So I'm just going to punch in my 5,000. Parentheses, 1 plus 0.03 divided by 2. Close parentheses. And then my exponent will be 2 times 9. All right, so let's see, we're going to round this to the nearest cents. So I'm getting $6,536. And let's see, 70 cents with a 3 behind it, it'll stay 70. And make sure that amount went up also, because she started with 5,000. That's got to increase over time for her, okay? All right, number 6, you can use it on the calculator, and I'll pop on my calculator and show you how to do that one. That is a log base 27 of 3. So I'm going to share the calculator with you. So let me clear that. So I had a log base 27 of 3. So you will hit your math button. Scroll down until you find log base. So any log that's not a log base 10 or LN, use this log base. So hit enter, put your 27 in because that's your base, and then arrow right and put your 3 in because that was your result. So when you hit enter, you're going to get a decimal, but remember, MATLAB don't want those decimal answers. So we're going to go to math, hit enter twice, because that's what that fraction means. It means you're going to turn your answer into a fraction. And when I hit enter, I get 1/3. Now I want y'all to see this answer blank here. In the answer blank, it says type a fraction. We don't want that 0.333. We want this to be a 1/3, okay? So y'all just watch for what they want you to do on these. How far do they want you to round them? Okay. All right, find a logarithm. They're giving me log base 34 of 1. Well, there's only one answer. That's going to be, and you can punch this in your calculator if you want to, but remember, there's only one exponent that I can raise this 34 to make it have a result of 1, and that exponent's always going to be 0. Okay. But y'all can use log base, put your 34 for your base, 1 for your result. It'll spit out that 0, okay? All right, so I'm gonna have to move this back up again. So this says convert to a logarithmic equation. So we're not solving this, we're just converting it over into a logarithmic equation. So you would start out with your log. Your base is the 10, the same base in the exponential. So you come down and put your little 10. The result is the 100,000. And if you punched in on your calculator a log base 10 of 100,000, it would give you the exponent of a 5. So the exponent in the exponential becomes the exponent in the logarithmic, okay? And that's all you had to do was just rewrite that, because these kind of problems were getting you ready for my equations we did Thursday when I was showing y'all some of those.
Do we have to put the log 10? Isn't it understood?
You could actually punch in the log 100,000 equals 5, without the little subscript, and it should take that also.
Okay.
If it don't take that on your test, let me know and I will override that one, okay?
Okay.
All right, now on this one, they want me to convert my logarithmic into an exponential. So my base is going to be the 4. The exponent of the exponential is the same as the exponent we found on the log. So the exponent would be the 3. And 4 to the 3rd will give you the result of 64. And y'all, the 2 that I chose for this test, when you rewrite them, you're getting true statements. If you used to punch in the log on a calculator, you'd get a 5. If you punch in 4 to the 3rd on a calculator, you'd get 64, okay? So I was trying to avoid the alphabet with you on those. All right, let's see. Number 10 wants me to find the LN of 334.8, and it wants me to round this 4 decimal places. So you're going to have your decimal and then 4 more numbers after it. So I'm just going to punch this on my handheld right here. So LN button's right on the left side. So punch LN 334.8, and then I'm just going to shut my parentheses and see what that gives us. So I'm getting 5.813. So I'm looking at the 4th 5. After it is a 3, so that's going to stay a 5. All right, same thing on number 11. Now this says use change of base. That's before we got the log base feature in our calculators. So when you all see that, just use your log base that we got in the math button. So this is a log base 7 of 60. So I would hit my math button here, arrow down until I got that log base, enter. So the base of the log I said was a 7, and then arrow over. The result was a 60. Also wants me to round this in 4 decimal places. So when I hit enter, I should get a 2.104. So this 0, my 4th unit, has a 7 behind it. So I'm going to have to make that a 1. Hey, y'all, so that's your trick on those. Just using that calculator for those various features on that. So let's see. 12 and 13 I can probably work on here, but 14 I'll use some more paper. So they just want me to express this as a sum. So since this is a product, to write it as a sum, I'm going to get a log base 14 of 14. So it's sort of like you're distributing that log to everybody. And then it's going to be plus log base 14. And the second factor was a 196. So we rewrite products as a sum. Division we rewrite as a difference. All right, 13, same thing, rewrite as sums or differences. But since these are all being multiplied, you're only going to have sums. We only have differences if we was dividing by anything. So distribute the LN to all 3 of these. So you'll get an LN of x to the 5th plus the LN of y to the 7th plus the LN of your z. So it's written as sums, but on these problems like this, you got to simplify this all the way. Which means any exponents on your variables have to be brought down to the front and rewritten as products. So this will give you 5 times ln of x plus 7 times ln of y plus ln of z. It's got to be totally simplified for MATLAB to give y'all credit, okay? All right, so let me move this down a little bit to see these answers. So this one's the same thing, except it does have division on here, okay? So when I'm dividing, I'm going to be subtracting those factors. And look, they were nice and gave us the 4 answers. We just got to match one of those up. So the first thing we'll do, distribute that log base b to all 4 factors. If my factors are on top, they'll be positive. If they were on bottom, they'll be negative. So that's going to give us a log b of p to the 3rd plus a log b q to the 7th. Both of those are positive on top, minus a log b of m to the 4th minus the log b of b to the 9th. So both of them on bottom were subtracted. Your next move is to bring all these exponents down to the front of each of these terms so that you get a 3 log b of p plus, let's see, that'll give us a 7 log b of q minus a 4 log b of m minus a 9. So do I need that log b of b part on that?
No.
No, just the 9.
No, because remember, log b of b is going to equal 1 for that. So all we need is that 9 back there. So good job. So you just got to try to find one of these that's got what we need. So the first one, they got these numbers all jumbled up. Second one, let's see, 3 log b of p, 7 log b of q, minus 4 log b of m, minus 9. So it looks like b for me. So what they do, so be careful, like this one, they didn't put a sign in there. They got it still multiplied. And then this one, they were switching numbers up. I don't even know where the P went. They threw the P. So they got some jumbled up answers. So just look for the one that matches our stuff and move on, okay? And actually, here's what's funny. Even if you forgot to convert that -9 log b of b, they don't have that answer anyway, so you're good to go. All right, let me move back up. So 15 just wanted me to simplify this. So since these are being subtracted, to simplify it, you would rewrite it as division. So you would have a ln on top is x squared plus 14x plus 40 being divided by x plus 10. So remember, negative factors go to the bottom of a fraction, positive on the top. So y'all, here's the thing. To simplify this, you got to be able to factor the top of that. Because we know the bottom's going to be an x plus 10, and there's nothing you can do to an x plus 10. So if we're going to simplify this, that means one of the factors on top has to end up being an x plus 10. So when I look for factors of 40, that'll give me 14. And I know both of these are positive because that last one's positive and they're both the same as the middle. Factors of 40 that'll equal 14 are definitely going to be 10 and 4. So let the bottom factor guide you on that one because you know what you got to have on top. So those x plus 10s will cancel. Now notice, since you got some parentheses left and they're both being affected by the ln, you got to keep that x plus 4 in parentheses. And y'all, they got exactly our answer, which would be that B there, okay? So I don't know what they were doing to get A and C. I know what they did D. They just didn't factor it and left that answered. but that's not simplified, okay? That's just rewritten. We have to go all the way to get that ln of x plus 4. All righty, then you started having to solve equations. 16 and 17 were exponential. 18, 19, and 20 will be logarithmic. So I got 6 to the 9x equals 1296. The first thing I do to this is I see whether I can rewrite that 1296 as 6 to an exponent. So I'm just going to start multiplying 6 and see if I get 1296. So 6 times 6 is 36, times 6 is 216, times 6 is 1296. So a 6 will rewrite as a 1296 using the exponent, and I multiplied 6 4 times. So I'm going to rewrite this as 6 to the 9x equals 6 to the 4th power. So that's the easiest thing, is to rewrite using a 6. All righty, so here's what's nice now. Since these bases match, that means the exponents are equal to each other, and 9x equals 4. So if the bases match, the exponents are equal. Now, to solve that for the x, I'm just going to divide both sides by 9. So that x equals 4 divided by 9. And notice they want fractions or integers. They do not want decimals. So you got to write that as 4 over 9, okay? And that makes sense, because if you put that 4 over 9 in for that x, the 9's cancel, and 6 to the 4th power will give you 1296. So y'all, these are the ones I'm sort of going to make sure y'all understand, because we didn't have a whole lot of time playing in this section, okay? So the next one, you got 2 to the x equals 5. Well, if you multiply 2, 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8. So this time I cannot rewrite that 5 using a 2. So can't rewrite using 2. So since I cannot rewrite that one using a 2, I've got to take the ln of both sides. Because by taking that ln, remember, I can now bring my exponent down to the front so that I get an x ln of 2 equals a ln of 5. So the ln, that move, we're only doing that so that we can bring that exponent down and bring that variable. So now x times ln of 2 equals ln of 5. To finish this up, we divide both sides by the ln of 2. Now, round this 4 decimal places. So y'all watch this one on the calculator. When you do the ln of 5, ln of 5, you gotta shut those parentheses before you hit that division. And then divide that by the ln of 2. So if you use your parentheses right on this, you should get 2.32, let's see, 1, and let's see, the 9 will stay a 9 because it's got a 2 after it. All right, so big thing, close parentheses on the calculator, okay? All right, so this next one I might just write down and solve it. So 18, let me write this down, has a log base 5 of 5x minus 5 equals 3. So now on logarithmic, you want to get one log on one side equal to a number in this case, it's already done. So to solve logarithmic equations, we rewrite them as exponential. And this is why we had to do those couple problems a while ago. So the base is 5. So you got 5 is your base. The exponent is 3. And 5 to the third should equal 5x minus 5. Okay, so your base raised to the exponent equals that result. All right, if you punch 5 to the third on your calculator, you get 125. So 125 equals 5x minus 5. All right, so to finish solving this, I'm going to add 5 to both sides. So I now get 130 equal to 5x. And y'all asked me to divide everybody by 5. So let's see, 130 divided by 5 should be like 26, and it is 26. So on 18, the answer is definitely 26. And if you put a 26 in for the x, you don't get any negative numbers. So that answer will work. Okay. All right, let me bring this down so we can see that. So let me write this one down real quick. I've got a log base 4 of c plus 21 minus a log base 4 of c plus 5 is going to equal a log base 4 of c. So we got a logarithmic equation. Now what I'm going to do, I got logs on both sides of this. So if I can get this to where I have a log equal to a log, since the bases match, I can set those results equal to each other. But remember, in order to get the left side to be a single log, I have to rewrite as a single log. So these ones are being subtracted. So when you rewrite it, it's going to look like division. So you bring down your log 4. C plus 21 is positive, so it goes to the top. C plus 5 is negative, so it goes to the bottom. And all this is going to equal log base 4 of C. So look at this. Since we got log base 4s on both sides that match, so the log bases match, that means that this result equals this result. So C plus 21 over C plus 5 has to equal whatever that C is going to give me. All right, so let me show you what I would do to that. I would make that C look like a fraction, and I would cross multiply this. Take this top times the bottom. So C plus 21 times 1 is C plus 21. That's going to equal the other cross product from the other side, which will be C plus 5, both multiplied by that C. So C times C is C squared. 5 times C is 5C. So on this one, since this one's got a quadratic squared term, I need to get everything on one side equal to 0. So y'all, I'm going to come in and subtract C from both sides and subtract 21 from both sides. So that gives me a 0 equals my C squared. 5C minus 1C will leave me 4C, and then minus my 21. All right, so to finish this, I'm going to factor it. At that point, you can use the quadratic formula. 1, 4, negative 21 on the quad will give you the two final answers, okay? So I'm gonna have a C and a C. Since that's negative, you got unlike signs. Factors of 21 that equal 4 would be a positive 7, negative 3. So let me finish out by setting these both equal to 0 when solving. So I get C is a negative 7, and then let's see. Whoops. I get C is a positive 3. So the final answer is only one of those numbers. Because if you put this negative 7 in for that C up there, log base 4 of a negative 7 will definitely give you an error message. So remember, once again, we cannot take that negative answer. And the only answer you're putting in MATLAB is C equals 3, okay? So y'all be careful of that. Don't let us trick you on those ones. So let's see, 19, I just come in and put the only answer, which was 3. If you put that negative 7 in there, it's definitely going to mark you wrong, okay? And the sad thing about it, MATLAB don't give partial credit, okay? All right, so we got one more to go. And this one is really similar to the one I did at, I think it was number 18. Because I've got logs on one side, but only a number on the right side. So let me write this problem down. Log 5x plus 10 plus log 5x minus 10 equals 3. So since I got a number on that side, I need to get on this left side and I need to rewrite as a single log. So since these are being added, they will be rewritten as multiplication. So bring down your log base 5 and you'll have x plus 10 times x minus 10, all of that equal to your 3. And y'all, I even went one step further before I rewrite this again. I'm going to FOIL that in, see what this equals. So I'm just going to FOIL that together. But listen, those are conjugate pairs. We're shortcutting this when we FOILed it. Conjugate pairs, x times x is x squared, minus 10 times negative 10 is minus 100. Shortcut them conjugates. Now, if you want to FOIL that out, you'll see that those plus 10x's and those negative 10x's cancel out every time. So they're gone, okay? So now I'm going to rewrite as exponential. So once you got it down to a single log equal to a number, you're going to write it as exponential. So your base is 5. Your exponent is 3. And that's going to equal the result of an x squared minus 100. All right, so I know what 5 to the third is. That was 5 times 5 times 5 is 125. That's going to equal x squared minus 100. So here's the thing. At this point, if you want everything on one side equal to 0, you could use the quad. Just remember to make the middle number a 0 when you use the quad. You could add a 100 and take square roots of this one. So I might just do that. Since I've been factoring a lot, I'm just going to add 100 to both sides so that I get a 225 equals x squared. Now, if I wanted to factor this, I would have subtracted 125 and had a negative 225 on that side. Either way. So now take square roots. Square root of 225 is a positive or negative 15 equal to my x. So here's the thing, I'm getting the answer of x equals negative 15. X equals a positive 15. That's what quad's giving you, but y'all remember, when you put that negative 15 in, negative 15 plus 10 makes that a negative 5. We cannot take the log of a negative number. So once again, I'm going to kick out my negative answer, and the only answer would be x equals 15. So I would put that 15 in the blank and be done. All righty, so let me stop that share. So really, usually this test is one of the better tests for y'all because it don't have as much material as y'all been getting hit with on my second and third test. And you got a lot of places where you can use that calculator on this test, okay? All the graphs, you can use the calculator to see what they look like. All the logs, you got to punch in on the calculators. There's a few where you had to rewrite, you know, you really can't use it on, but usually y'all do better on this one though. So what we'll do, y'all practice that test 4 study guide and knock out that test 4. But remember, everything is due this week by Thursday night at midnight. So what I'll do tomorrow is study for my final exam. Okay. Now, I've got the final exam open already. It opened up this morning. If y'all were needing to go anywhere or whatever, you know, vacation or whatever. So it's open. Do the study guide first because it's just like the final exam, just like all of our tests are like our other study guides, okay? All righty, so we will study for final exam tomorrow, and then we'll see if y'all need me Wednesday. We'll do a class Wednesday. If y'all got everything down tomorrow, we'll just call that our last class, okay? All righty, so any questions for me?
Appreciate you.
All righty, so I'll try to figure out a bonus I can send y'all later today when I send out this video. And I'll make this one an easy one for you, all right?
Yes, please. Thank you.
I do have a question.
Yeah, I hear somebody.
Did you receive my email? I'm unable to open it.
Yeah, so what I had to do for you was just sort of I was looking for that other email and it didn't show me the address of it. So Candice, give me the one you want at Gmail because it wouldn't show me enough of that email address.
It's my last name, my first name at gmail.com.
So, say that slower.
It's Payne, Payne.
I got that.
Kandyse.
Oh, it's the whole thing. And then at gmail.com.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'll send that one out for you then.
Okay, thank you so much.
Okay. All right, so later this afternoon, y'all start looking for an email that'll have your last bonus. I don't do a bonus for the final. But my 4th test, I'll have some kind of bonus and I'll have a video of this recording, okay? All right, and I got a chat. Let me see what this one says.
She asked about final grades.
Oh, final grades will be posted by Friday afternoon. I'll probably get mine in early Friday morning because what I'll have to do is wait till midnight for everybody to take that test. Now, if everybody gets the test done, I can go on and figure your grades. But remember, I gotta take my final exam and see if it needs to replace one of those low grades. So I'm gonna be replacing low grades with your final grade as long as it's higher. And then once I get that done, I'm gonna drop 2 low homeworks, like I said. And then that'll start giving me y'all's final grades, okay? But definitely by, I think the whole school has to have them in by Friday at 3 o'clock. And then yeah, if you've already taken test 4, I will let you still do the bonus. So be looking for that later today, Samantha. All right, I'm not seeing any more chats, so I'll end this and I will see y'all tomorrow, and y'all will be getting an email tonight or today, okay? All right, y'all have a good one.